Hi, this is Allan Bacon. I'm the author of Start Something You and the founder of avocationist.com. I'm talking about generous networking. Don't forget that companies don't hire resumes, they hire people. So with that being the case, it's probably not surprising to you that 80% of jobs are still found through networking. Networking just means people who knew people connecting each other. Now I know you've heard that statistic before, and you're probably sitting here right now going, yeah, Alan, I know all that already, but I still don't want to do it that way. Or you might be thinking, ugh, networking, it feels so fake, I have to act like I'm somebody else, I have to act confident when I'm not, or I have to be really selfish and focus on my own needs. And nobody wants to feel that way. I remember the first time I changed jobs, and somebody told me, hey, Alan, if you want to change jobs, you got to go network. So I looked in the paper and saw that there was a reception on networking at a local hotel. And I put on a suit, and I drove down to the Marriott, and I parked my car, and I got my ticket, and I walked inside, and my palms were a little sweaty, and I signed up at the table, got my little name tag on, and I walked into the big ballroom where there are hundreds of people standing around who all seem to know each other. So I go in the corner and get a glass of water, and I'm standing there with my glass of water and my stack of business cards looking for somebody I could talk to. I didn't know anybody. So lo and behold, I saw the speaker for our event that night. And I thought, hey, he's done this a lot. He'd probably be pretty easy to talk to. So I walk up to our speaker and say, hey, I'm Allan Bacon. And then I sort of didn't know what to do. So I got myself all the way there, but I didn't know how to talk to this person. So he kind of looked at me for a few seconds, and then he kind of turned and said, hey, all right, we'll see you later. And headed off to talk to somebody else. And after he left, I felt about that big. You know, my confidence was shot, and I just gave up on that kind of networking from that point on. I just felt like this isn't going to work for me. And you may feel that way too. And that's the purpose of generous networking, to help you find a trusted introduction to a person who can hire you. So between you and this person are a series of these trusted connections. And generous networking is your guide to finding and developing them by using this principle. If you focus your attention on others, they will gladly introduce you to people who would love to hire you. If you focus your attention on others, they will gladly introduce you to people who would love to hire you. Well, so what's the catch? What will you have to do differently or give up or learn to be able to follow this path of generous networking? Well, you will have to do some things differently. You're going to have to call people. So we're going to start with people that you know and you like. Not every meeting you have is going to bear fruit. So you'll learn how to follow up afterwards to get help later on. You're going to have to do more preparation before each one of your meetings. So you'll learn how step by step. You will have to make decisions about your exact target job before you're ready. So you'll learn how to pick several and then how to change them later on. And you're going to need patience and persistence. So you'll get a system that helps you every day, day by day, decide what you need to be doing based on how things are going. So what is the generous networking process? I want to walk you through it now, step by step, and just give you a taste and some takeaways that you can apply right now to your job search. The first step is called classmates, coworkers, and cousins. And that's meant to remind you that if you want to have a trusted introduction in the end, start with people that you trust. A lot of you told me, hey, I've tried to talk to my relatives and my friends, but they're not very helpful because they don't really understand my industry or they don't know anybody. Well, we'll address that in the second step, clarity. Clarity is about a special way to be specific that is understandable by just about anybody. And it avoids some of the common traps of being using industry jargon or thinking you're being specific when in actuality you're speaking in a way that they can't understand. So the third step, curiosity, is meant to get you ready for that. So what's this about curiosity? Well, think about people walking down the street and somebody all of a sudden looks up. Maybe some people start pointing. You know, you are going to feel an irresistible urge to look up and see what's going on up there. That's curiosity. When you get curious about something, it's almost like an irresistible pull to close that knowledge gap you have. So in curiosity, we're going to get you ready to meet with these people in a way that you can't help but focus on them when you get in front of them. We're going to teach you how to go into LinkedIn and some other places online, learn information about them. It just makes it just irresistible for you to find out more about them and ask questions about what they do. Well, so now you're ready for the meeting. You're ready to focus on them. And the next step, number 4, is called connection. It's called connection for a reason, because the connection is what's starting in that meeting. In generous networking, we're going to focus on having this be the first step of many steps and many interactions with this person, not a one-time event. So the one tip from connection is the 3-step model for a meeting that works really well to naturally shift the focus from you to the other person. And that's called at ease, about, and ask. So at ease is just a quick statement about why you're there, how you got introduced, and what you want to talk about. It's just meant to remind the other person how you got there and what they're expected to do during this meeting. Then in about, the next phase is when you talk about you and the other person. But this is when it's easy to shift to them. So the first step is about them. Ask the questions about them. Use what you developed in the curiosity phase to start a great dialogue to where you can understand lots about what they've done. And then you can shift back to talking about yourself, now understanding more about who this person is and how they might help you. And then ask is just the simple line at the end, asking for other connections beyond that meeting. We'll also talk to you about how to tell your story in a way that really builds up your credibility with them and makes them be more supporters than just helpers in that meeting. Okay, so you've had a great meeting. So the last step is close the loop. Close the loop is the one that most people do a little bit of, but could do a lot more. Most people send thank you notes. But do you know the secret that you can do for almost anybody? The secret that even Oprah does not get enough of. So I'll teach you about what that is in this class. And I'll also teach you about something called the 4-hour rule. The 4-hour rule is what I use immediately after a meeting to remind myself to, yes, say thanks to the person, but also to go out and contact anybody they've introduced me to. Those connections will be warmer at that point, but more importantly, you'll be in a good mood at that point because you've just had a great meeting and you know you're making progress. So when you're on top of the world, that's a great time to meet new people because you're going to show off at your best. So take advantage of the 4-hour rule. You can use that starting today. So the Generous Networking class is online. It includes video guides to each step of the process, downloadable checklists, a quick start guide to get you going, and other reminders and templates and sample emails that you can adapt to your situation. It's meant to be a full toolkit to help you get started right away and to really ramp up your job search process. So if you're interested, sign up your name below and I'll send you more information. and I'd love to have you be part of the process. Thanks again. This is Allan Bacon from avocationist.com.